Good morning, good evening. You are watching Insight with Praveen Puram live from Atlanta. Today we have our esteemed guest, Mr. Dr. Shik, and we will be talking more about Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. Before we get started, Indian Insight with Praveen Puram, we get more on the guests who are well renowned and they have achieved in their life. Most of them are NRIs. And today the topic is Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. What exactly this Indo-American Chamber of Commerce? So probably you will get more insight from the president of what this organization is and what are the functions of it. So I will just give a brief about what is this Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, which is established in 2017. It's a bilateral chamber synergizing between India and US economic engagement. The mission of this is, to promote bilateral trades, investments, technology transfers, facilities, business collaborations, joint ventures, marketing, and strategic alliances. So definitely this is useful for all of the NRI members or the small businesses owners to know about this. Welcome to the show, Dr. Sheikh. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we start, I will introduce yourself and then hand it over to you to give more if I missed anything about yourself, and then we will get into the clarity of what it is. Dr. Sheikh is a true doctorpreneur and philanthropist. He was born and raised in India, where he went to medical school at early age of 17. He was awarded Lifetime National Merit Scholarship at the age of 15 by Government of India upon his graduation. He moved to US and completed his residency at the Medical College of Georgia and been practicing internal medicine in Atlanta over 25 years. He has worked for some of the largest corporations in healthcare as an executive medical director. In 1997, he founded the Primary Care Center, a new model of health in the primary care setting with a goal of making healthcare more accessible and affordable to the community. The company currently has several locations in Atlanta area. He has since founded multiple successful corporations and numerous professional organizations. He is currently the president and CEO of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, Atlanta Film Academy, Atlanta International Film Festival, and the Indo-American Medical Society, the Primary Care Center, Giovanni Medical Spa, CompuPro International, and the Lions Gate Group. He is quite engaged in Indo-American relations and work closely with the external ministry in India as well as with the Consul General of India in Atlanta. Dr. Sheikh has been very active in the community. He serves on many boards of several non-profit organizations, including the Johns Creek Symphony Orchestra, the Atlanta Festival Academy, the Johns Creek Chamber of Commerce, and serves as a board of trustees of Gwinnett Technical College. He's active member and president-elect of the Sandy Springs Rotary Club. He is a graduate of Leadership Sandy Springs class of 2017. He has been honored by his peers with 2019 Man of the Year Award. He has served on the board of directors and presidents of the Dorothy C. Benson Multipurpose Senior Complex and the Sandy Springs Educational Force Business Advisory Board, and also directors of the United Nations Atlanta chapter and the Indian American International Chamber of Commerce. He's a member of American Medical Association and the Medical Association of Georgia and the American College of Physicians, the American Laser Society, the American Bariatric Society, the American College of Occupational and Environmental Medicine, the HPV prevention. Dr. Sheikh enjoys traveling and spending time outdoors with his family. Fantastic, phenomenal career I could see, Dr. Sheikh. Thank you so much again for bringing this community together and also having this Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. So tell us more, only the journey, what made you think to start this organization, wonderful organization?
First of all, thank you for having me, and good morning to all of your viewers, and good evening if they're international viewers somewhere in India. That was a great introduction. Thank you. It's pretty long, though. I need to cut it down a little bit. Well, we all have history behind, great things that we do in life. See, my history actually started, believe it or not, in India. And I'll be brief, otherwise we'll go on for half an hour just talking about that. So when I was young, I was, still in college, trying to go to medical school back in mid 70s. I was in India. Our family had great businesses in India, and we had departmental stores, my father. And, we used to sell pretty much every product like Coca-Cola, Fanta, Cadbury chocolate, Nescafe, all the products of some German companies like Ciba Geigy and, things like that. In 75, 76, when Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was there, an emergency was declared. And I think the foreign policy for the businesses, international businesses doing business in India, completely changed. And a lot of international companies like Coca-Cola, IBM, all of these companies did not like the foreign policy. It was more restrictive for them to actually own their own subsidiaries in India without creating a joint venture or partnership with another Indian company and giving up a controlling stock in their own subsidiary, which wasn't going to happen. So I think IBM was pretty much the first one to leave India in 1976, and everybody else followed. And long story short, this impacted, believe it or not, our business in India, because I started saying that we were not getting all of these products that we were selling, and it all disappeared. And somehow it stayed with me that why would that happen, that now we can't sell Coca-Cola and Cadbury and Nescafe, all that in India. When I left India in early 1984, I think it was in January, and the first thing I did on the plane, made a list of things that I need to do when I get to America. Okay. My entire flight, I was just giving a lot of thought to what all I want to achieve. Medicine was part of it. Of course, I had become a physician. I was coming here. I was the first from the family to come. I had $18 in my pocket, and I didn't know what I was going to do next. But I had big dreams. So one of the big things was take Coca-Cola back to India. Okay, that was on top of my list over and over again. Ultimately, I ended up in Atlanta. I was in New York for a couple of years and then moved to Atlanta back in mid 80s. And when I saw the Coca-Cola headquarters here, I knew what I had to do. Okay. And in connections with a lot of politicians and some great people and great business leaders, and kind of put me in the position to reach out to the finance minister in India, Manmohan Singh back then, and see how we could change the policy and reverse it, where all these international companies from different countries can come back to India. And after 2 years of significant dialogue and a lot of intensive work that we put in, we were able to open up the foreign policy and modify things. So, this is the little seed that started all these things and put me in the dynamics of more of an international business and trying to do business between India and US and again, medicine was not part of that anywhere. I came here as a doctor, and I put my doctoring on hold because I was more of an entrepreneur at that time, and just continued to conduct a lot of businesses. So 30 years of doing businesses, what ended up happening that I started taking delegations to India with all this politicians and American business leaders and economic development people and congressmen and senators and mayors and trying to conduct business and develop international relationship between India and US. In 2017, one of the delegations that I took was so successful that I think on the way back, the entire delegation on the plane kept saying, uh, said, Dr. Sheikh, you are like a one-man chamber, and you should start your own chamber. Okay. And that actually started the chamber, believe it or not, because they all promised that they'll sit on the board. And I said, okay, let's get to America and start the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. So that was the initiation of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. There's a little long story, but there's a lot of business behind this of 30 years of experience and a lot of relationship development that kind of push you in a state of mind that what we've been doing for 30 years is what a chamber will do.
Wow, that's very, very interesting. The first catch is, anyone coming to America would dream of making some money, going back, invest, and grow, right? From you, me and you, my viewers have learned you come with the big dreams, right? And then the other interesting thing is being a doctor, adopting the entrepreneurship and making the relationships and making this Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. That's a great history, no doubt about it, Dr. Sheikh. Many of you, many of us know in the community, but this is another attempt to take it more to the audience where they need some help on the relations or the economic conditions, how to make their business more between the countries. And as I started initiating this flyer, people started asking me, is this only for IT or is this for other things? And, people started asking me the URL. So I told them that this is not for IT, this is for every other businesses. So mostly people were interested on trading, right? The trade between India and US. So more we will definitely answer those questions. So Dr. Sheikh, after I think probably you said 1980s. So after 30 years or 37 years, you have started this Chamber of Commerce. So what did you feel now after 37 years? How do you take this to the community? What kind of benefits you wanted to bring it to the community?
First of all, the question is, why did I wait so long to start the chamber, right?
Yes.
It took 35, 37 years, like you said, but it's the right timing. And, initially it was my personal business. It was for-profit business between the countries. And, so it kind of an offspring, a spin-off out of my own personal business that we started this nonprofit chamber because I made so many connections and so many relationships that we have developed and groomed over a period of last 40 years almost with different economic development people in the state, with the state of Georgia and so many different states. We're not limited to just Georgia, but our presence is in Georgia and Atlanta. So I always talk about Georgia more, and Georgia is home, and I'm biased. I love Georgia. And Georgia is actually, has been on the top for attracting businesses to come to Georgia for last 9 years, believe it or not, in a row. So it's a lot of business growth and business-friendly government in Georgia, so it helps. But first 2-3 years, the chamber still structurally existed as a lot of great board members, and quite a lot of them are business leaders and CEOs of Fortune 100 companies and a lot of politicians, and so it was a makeup board was phenomenal, even though the difference is what we see generally, what you end up seeing in Indo-American Chamber, that we tend to be more Indo. It becomes more Indo. So the board members, leaders, the leadership is always more Indian, and even the clientele, your members are also more Indian. So I get asked this question all the time, believe it or not. that do you have to be Indian to join the Indo-American Chamber? And I was taken back, and I'm like, we need to truly educate people. Okay, there is American also in Indo-American. Don't forget that. So we say Indo and American. So what does that mean? Are this the Indians who live in America, or are these the Americans who are trying to do business in India? Or are these the people who are from India who are trying to do business in America? How does it work? I mean, who is this for? And that question stayed there for almost 3 years, because initially, like I said, the structure of the board was all Fortune 100 companies and big members. We didn't have general local membership until last year. Sometime in March, we opened up about 9 months ago, believe it or not. We opened up to general public and local businesses. And we started truly educating people that this is not limited to just Indians or people who are trying to do business in India, or Indian people whose companies are in India trying to come to America. Of course, that's part of it. I'm not saying we don't do that. But this is about mainstream American businesses want to do business with the Indian community, and they just don't know how to approach the Indian community, and vice versa. The Indian businesses in Georgia, in Atlanta, or local businesses, they just don't know how to get into American market, okay? Because we tend to do business quite a lot with each other. And we remain in this box and just don't know how to penetrate that market and put ourselves in front of a Fortune 500 company and sell our services, or whatever those services might be, IT or anything else, like you said. And in the chamber allows our members to, it gives them that resource and ability to approach the mainstream local market. And that's why it's important that anybody should join. When I say Indo-American, the way we look at this in our chamber is Indo is 1.4 billion people that we're trying to serve. Okay, but then again, when we see American, then there are another 350 million. So American to us are Indians who live in America, and also Caucasian, white, Black, Nigerian, Chinese, Vietnamese, Latinos, they're all American.
Absolutely.
So we're very, very, very inclusive. I mean, if you just look at the makeup of our board, you'll know that it looks like a United Nation, literally. So you have presence of pretty much every community, every demographic you can think of, whether it's women, whether it's minority, veterans, so we're a very inclusive type of a chamber. So, the visibility of this chamber needs to be a mainstream local chamber, which is more international, instead of just limited to people who are trying to do business between two countries. We're not that. We're way more than that. So any local restaurant want to join, any barber shop want to join, versus Comcast or Coca-Cola, Mercedes, all those huge companies, they have presence in our chamber. So that's what the chamber is all about.
I think, Dr. Sheikh, I think you clarified all the questions the audience might have. And personally, I have been last year in your one of the event, and I saw it is more diversified. And one of the things I like about is your introduction to the new members. That was very interesting. You give an opportunity on the floor to talk about themselves. That gives more vocal to tell about their businesses, to know about the other businesses. And really, I enjoyed the event when I came.
Good.
And that is where I thought I should bring you on my show to, add more members in the coming years. So before we go more deep into this, I just wanted to tell the audience what is the memberships, different memberships, how can you be a member, what can you do on the board, or if you want to join, or if you want to be on the event, what is your signature event? If you can clarify what is the cost as well, so that the audience know all of it.
Well, you've been to one of our signature, I think you've been to more than one.
Yes.
Events, and thank you for that. Probably you should come more frequently, and would love to have you. If I can comment on what you said, my introduction of the new members and all that, business is mainly is people behind the business. What makes the business, like your show, your TV, your podcast, everything you do is you. Okay, it's you who makes that happen. Okay. It's always there's a person, an individual or a group of individual, a team behind it. And it's very important for us as a chamber to groom that leadership into right direction. That's one of our resources, actually, believe it or not, to create leaders. Because once we have that, their presence and how we hold their hand and give that personal attention, everybody is afraid to speak in public, and we give them that opportunity to introduce themselves and talk about their business to the audience at any time, and be able to sell their services or create relationships and do this great networking. So I always enjoyed bringing in new people and introducing them on the floor and give them an opportunity to connect with the audience and talk about their business. So having said that, our membership, like I said earlier, COVID kind of tanked us for a couple of years. We didn't do much. Every business suffered in the US and in the world, so when we started the general membership, we decided that in the earlier phase of the chamber, our members were pretty heavy duty, big corporate people, and it remained there. So, our membership was as big as $15,000, $10,000, $5,000 a year. But when last year in March, when we rolled out to general public, local businesses, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, individual one-man shows, then we brought down the membership to $350 a year. Okay. And we have a lot of people from the Indian and American community join at that level. We have $500 membership. We have $1,000 membership. We have then have Chairman Circle membership, which starts at $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, and $15,000. Mm-hmm. Now, with each level of membership, of course, you have enormous number of resources that you're getting. The degree of attention and hand holding and from the leadership of the chamber, it comes in at $1,000, but even at $350 and $500, people are getting equal attention. You've seen that. You've seen that at our event. We don't defer. I mean, it's not like somebody who's paying $10,000 and getting a whole lot more attention than somebody who's $350. As a matter of fact, the person who's paying $350, that's all they can afford. They actually need more attention, because we want to make sure that they're able to succeed and make their business grow, and put them in front of these people who pay $15,000 and say, here, do business together. Talk about your business to this Fortune 100 company. Go sell your services and become big, because our goal is to create leaders and make other people's businesses successful. That's what our success is. See, our success as a chamber comes from seeing our members' businesses be more successful. Okay, that's pretty much the bottom line.
Absolutely. Right? I think I saw that within the $350 we can present ourselves. That's a great opportunity for everybody.
Yeah, and not once, multiple times. People have come almost every month to an event. We have great food, great environment, great networking people. I mean, people come from all different directions. There are people driving and flying in from distance. We had some people come from Arizona. There are two businessmen drove from Tennessee. There's again a couple of business people in real estate. They drove all the way from North Carolina. It's when you see that, you kind of start asking, we must be doing something right, right?
Absolutely.
That
And
if people are willing to drive 3, 4, 5 hours or fly 3, 4 hours to come attend our events, then we're doing something right. So
absolutely,
hope
Dr.
we continue to do that and grow the membership, and that's what we're trying to do. About the events this year, we're getting ready to add multiple different types of events.
Mhm.
It's not going to be all, just a big dinner and 200 people party. We have great speakers come out every signature event. But also, we're going to have like a small business teaching series where, going to have 20, 30, 60 people in the audience and have panel discussions. So we're going to invite some great business leaders, community leaders to come out and speak and talk about business. And they can talk about how to start a business, to how to do your taxes, to how to save money, how to cut the overhead, how to do digital marketing, how to succeed and grow your business, how to sell your business, create an exit strategy. I mean, a lot of things to learn, so that's one thing. And we're also getting ready to start, we're big on women entrepreneurship, and so we're going to have just women entrepreneurship in women audience where, they'll have a lot of speaking engagements and things like that. Young entrepreneurs, we're grooming, nowadays, younger and younger crowd is becoming billionaires. They all got those unicorns in IT and wearing jeans and t-shirt, running around with a laptop, sitting at Starbucks, and they're starting companies which are making, sell it for $300-400-500 million. So, our focus is to bring in young entrepreneurs to the table too. And give them the resources they need to succeed and help the startups and things like that. So
Absolutely. I think you have covered the length and breadth of the events. Thank you so much, Dr. Sheikh.